All right, welcome to week 3 in CIT93 online. So I have work that you all submitted over the weekend that I haven't graded. I'll be doing that soon. But I just kind of wanted to give you the check-in and make sure, everybody's clear about the week's work. So tonight we have our first JavaScript, the weird parts. I've seen a couple of submissions here and it seems like people are getting this done well. Next time we do this, which will be here, we'll actually have a little more code that we end up doing. So this first set of lectures is really just concepts. But here comes our first code up, Big Nerd Ranch, okay? And this is really me just getting you into the material. We actually end up finishing the autogram as far as the functionality this time. So I would definitely say once you get this done, think about actually looking ahead and working ahead on this one, just because the more you do this, the better it will be continuously. So, because sometimes what happens is you start working on this stuff and it's like, God, I just want to keep going. And really, I would say do that. The only thing I saw with the free code camp stuff was that I had just, and it was my bad. I don't know what I was thinking. I had a terminology issue when I was talking about this, but I really want them, and I'll need to make sure I do this in descending order. And the only reason I have this listed in descending order, the only reason I want them that way is so it's easy for you to pick up on the next one when you go to do that. So you can say, oh yeah, here's the number, here's the one I left off on, and then I'll continue on. Also, make sure you watch the video for the code up, because I also ask you to create a new file under your directory called under the develop called index, and start thinking about what you're going to use, what you're going to create, what you're going to develop for the develop projects that are coming up. Which, by the way, if you haven't seen this already, I drafted the requirements for the to develop it task or items for this class, and I definitely would say recommend to you that you check this out. I am going to add a few. One thing I realized I forgot was the and you'll see this a little later on in the code for Big Nerd Ranch, which is using CSS animations with JavaScript. Okay, so I will include that as well. So just know that it's a good time to think as we're doing this code up and other things as you're learning, that you think about where ultimately this ends up for us with this part, which is doing actual development, and that's our first set of development task right there. Okay. Over the weekend, I had a great experience of being on the code for the coding panels for 59 days of code, and I spent 2 days basically looking at what folks in the local Central Valley created, and it was really phenomenal, really amazing, the talent and the creativity and a passion and drive that is happening in Fresno around tech. So if you're thinking there's not a tech industry, this is one example of the fact that there definitely is. Okay, so you know, check in, connect into the local tech community. I've suggested Meetup. There's great meetups happening. I know the organization I help run, GDG Fresno, is running a TensorFlow talk next Thursday. Okay, so think about checking that out. TensorFlow is the machine learning open source software that Google provides. That's very, very interesting. It's going to change everything about the way we think about programming in the future. Okay, so anyway, check that out. Last thing I will say, and I meant to say this on 82, but I'll say this here, is that it is Student Appreciation Week on campus. So if you're around in the University Mall from 11 to 1, they're giving away cookies, Dutch Brothers Coffee, Stevens Bike Shop, Meet the President, Sam the Ram, free floats, juice and corn nuts. So, if you're around campus, take advantage of some of these great things that we're offering up at campus. Okay. All right. So, other than that, I think, last thing I will say is this. Is that I want you to know the workflow that I do when I'm looking at your work is that I download your code into my local repo, and then what I do is I will go out and then I will pull in your code, and then I will run browser sync, and I will actually look at it from the web perspective. So I want you to know that that's how I view it. That's why you want to make sure you have all those in your index file updated to have the new work that you're submitting. So make sure you include that in there. Okay? All right, I think that's enough for now. Just know that, I will be working on because I already released week 4. I do want to do a new video for this one, so but you can go ahead and start working on if you're happen to be done with this week's work on week 4, and then I will have week 5 available for you soon. All right, again, the pace is going to kick up every week as we see this, so hopefully you're reaching out when you need some additional help. Talk to you later. Bye.